James Gunn's Superman Legacy continues to fill out its cast with 3 new notable additions. Nathan Fillion will portray Green Lantern Guy Gardner. Isabela Merced, most known for Dora and the Lost City of Gold, is set to appear as Hawkgirl, and X-Men First Class is Eddie Gathegi joins the fray as Mr. Terrific. That's a lot of superpowered folk for David Corenswet's burgeoning Supes to contend with. Do these cast and character announcements take our hype for this flick up, and away?
Man, James Gunn is just having fun. I mean, this is a fun casting list. We knew Nathan Fillion was going to get into one of these movies eventually. I mean, him and James Gunn, they're boys. He appears in all of his movies, even if it's just some kind of small role here and there. So that was coming at some point. I did not expect that it would be this early and that he would be this Green Lantern character. But James Gunn has come out and he said this is going to be a story about Superman where he's young, but he's also already in a world of superpowered people. And he was not lying, because that's exactly what's happening here. But I think I think it definitely raises my intrigue in this movie, which I was already very interested in. We're still 2 years away from the premiere date, but the fact that we're talking about it this early and we're already talking about casting with excitement, it does help me get a little bit more excited and ready to move on from this old kind of DC drama and hopefully bring into something new. I think this is a really fun and interesting cast all around.
Eddie Gathegi and Isabela Merced, I'm sure, are wonderful. I've seen them a very little bit, and they're good, but the headline here for me, in my heart, is Nathan Fillion. Nathan Fillion plays Malcolm Reynolds on Firefly, one of my favorite series of all time, and I love him on that, and I've been wanting him to come into the MCU, which he did pretty substantially in Guardians 3, but I was almost mad at that role, because it was great, it was played wonderfully, but it kind of put a stamp that he won't be anything else in the MCU. But this is great news. He will get to be a major player in the DC universe. Those of you who are a little more DC knowledgeable, Guy Gardner kind of has a checkered history in the comics, right? He's the Green Lantern that sort of has good time. He's a hero, but he has some bad, dark times as well.
I think that's more Hal Jordan, who takes a turn towards the dark side.
Okay.
Guy Gardner does have a checkered past in terms of his reception by the audience, I will say. He tends to be a little bit more of a comedic and sarcastic Green Lantern, so some people love him, some people hate him.
Okay. It's Hal Jordan I was thinking of. I'm not very up on the Green Lanterns, but I was kind of hoping that he would be one that sarcastic and funny sounds exactly appropriate for Nathan Fillion, but he can play dark too. So I was kind of I kind of would rather a Hal Jordan. I think that would be more exciting to me. But I'm just excited to have Nathan Fillion in any of these universes in a major role. That's exciting.
Is Nathan Fillion the most universally liked person in the nerdverse?
Yes. Yeah, he is. Yeah. Everybody's like, our king!
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody loves him.
This actually isn't the first time Nathan Fillion has portrayed a Green Lantern. He's actually portrayed Hal Jordan in the past in the Flashpoint Paradox, the Justice League animated film that was circa 2013. He got to play Hal Jordan there. So
good call. Yeah.
When I first saw this news, I found myself kind of surprised, because we know that this is going to take place early on in Superman's career, and we've known that he's going to be a young Superman just kind of figuring things out. So the fact that we're getting this many superpowered people was a little surprising to me, but the more I've sat with it, the more I think it kind of makes sense, because James Gunn was very clear that this first phase for the DCU is going to be gods and monsters, so it makes sense that he would want to focus on these characters with such otherworldly powers. And I think it starts to help us know what this landscape of this new DCU is going to look like, because thinking of Guy Gardner, he's actually the third legacy human character to have the mantle of Green Lantern. So that gives us some indication that while Superman may be fresh, the world of, these superheroic ongoings is not necessarily a new thing. And then I will say that Mr. Terrific kind of stands out to me, because talking about these otherworldly and godly powers, he kind of stands out as the he's more technology based. He created his own equipment and weapons that he uses. So he will definitely be a bit of an outlier. But I do recognize, I don't know if it's Eddie or Edie Gathegi, I think his name is, but I do recognize him from X-Men First Class. He played Darwin in that, and it was a pretty small role, but definitely an impactful role, and he definitely, lended a lot of gravitas to that role. So I'm excited to see him join the fray here.
Yeah, 100%.
James Gunn must kind of listen to our show because he's been dropping all of this casting an hour and a half before we go live.
Right.
It was almost the exact same time that he dropped the Superman and Lois Lane casting, just setting us up to just throw it right out there and be one of the first to cover it. Yeah. So thank you, James Gunn.
Thank you, James.
We see you.
It. Our buddy Jim over there dropping, I don't know.
Oh, I can't think of anybody who less looks like a Jim.
Okay, up next.